Before you begin your search for host families, please take a few moments to review some helpful tips and techniques to enhance your recruitment skills. Volunteer action stems from a desire to act on one's beliefs and values. Your belief in the ISE mission and in cultural exchange in general will be your most valuable asset in recruiting families. If your efforts come from a place of authenticity and passion, it'll show and you'll be able to pass on your excitement to prospective families. Expressing your belief allows you to emotionally connect with your audience, but knowing the ins and outs of the ISE rules and policies demonstrates that your belief is real and that your dedication to the mission is serious. You always need to tailor your message to the people who are in front of you. When you build that personal connection that ties the audience to the program, it makes it that much harder for them to separate themselves from what you're offering. Now that the audience knows what you stand for and who you stand with, here's where you seal the deal. Show them the rewards behind your belief. ISE has tremendous opportunities for host families. Tell families about the opportunity to learn about a new culture firsthand. Provide their family and community with a unique educational experience. Establish friendships that span the globe. Promote kindness and friendship in their local area. And have a direct influence in the way America is perceived internationally. Ultimately, you need to show people your passion for ISE. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. When speaking, always keep in mind your voice, posture, appearance, and eye contact. Speak clearly and confidently while showing emotion. Stand upright. A strong and confident posture physically demonstrates your pride in your role at ISE. Frequent eye contact is the best nonverbal method to establish trust with your audience. When reaching out to folks in your community, begin by asking Frank. That's your friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids. While Frank is a great starting point, you should always work to build new relationships outside of your immediate social circles. Simply put, in order to find people, you have to go where the people are. The easiest place to start is with groups within your own community. That's where you have to network. Below are some tried and true methods for recruiting host families, but that's not to say there aren't more in the very town that you live in. The easiest place to start is with community groups that share your passions. If you're religious, join a church group. If you love kids, attend a PTA meeting. If you love to volunteer, participate in clothing drives and fundraisers. Additionally, look at your students' profiles and note their hobbies. You can use this information to reach out to local clubs, outdoor associations, sport teams, etc. At events, connect with people you know and ask to be introduced to people you don't. You always want to grow your personal network and develop new leads and referrals, and always be sure to exchange your contact information. Always leave your audience with a positive impression. A compliment, a memorable story, a promise, a follow-up. Being generous with your time and attention will make your audience feel important and valued, and have them looking forward to hearing from you again. And as long as there are students to place, there are more people to meet. Making unscheduled visits to schools and making unexpected calls to potential host families can be a surprisingly effective way to recruit, if done correctly. Before you reach out to anyone, prepare yourself. Get into a positive mindset, develop a quick pitch that promptly, politely, and effectively addresses who you are and what you want to do. In these brief conversations, allow the person to speak and listen to what they have to say. If you're able to make a connection, then you're no longer a stranger. Ways to do this are mentioning common acquaintances and interests you may share with your prospect. Finally, practice your pitch so when you're making these calls and visits, the delivery is smooth and appears natural and casual. The more calls you make, the better you get. Hearing no from prospective families isn't necessarily the final answer. Some people are naturally skeptical, but the way you approach their apprehension can often change their mind. Hear them out, listen to their concerns, and let them explain their opinion and voice their objections uninterrupted. After they've said their piece, we can sort out whether their rejection is conditional or objective. Conditional rejections are valid reasons that disqualify prospects, such as receiving public assistance or having a criminal background. Objective reasons are flexible objections, such as the family being too busy or the local school not accepting students. Families that provide conditional objections can be removed from your outreach efforts. However, objective rejections can be overcome through understanding, information, and attention to their concerns. Provide prospects with information that can counter negativity. If they say they're too busy, mention that students are encouraged to participate in extracurricular activities that help them make friends. If they say schools won't accept students, mention how ISE prides itself on maintaining strong relationships with our schools and that many schools are willing to make exceptions after speaking with one of our representatives. Leading questions are questions designed to bring about a certain answer. You want to ask these questions to encourage positive answers. Strong leading questions include, wouldn't your children benefit from socializing with students from around the world? Would you enjoy showing off your town to a newcomer from another country? Or, how would you feel knowing that you've changed the life of a student in a positive way? Most likely, people won't change their minds right away, which is why it's important to leave on a positive note. Briefly share an inspiring story about student exchange. Ideally, you want to bridge your experience with their initial concern and leave them thinking about the program in a positive light. Being persistent and being pushy aren't the same thing. Reps who don't follow up don't succeed. It takes multiple contacts before a family finally signs on to host. Be respectful of people's time. You need to communicate your purpose and value quickly and succinctly. Use school start dates and DOS deadlines to add urgency to the process. Be careful not to place too much pressure on your prospect. However, it's important to let them know that there isn't an unlimited amount of time for them to come to a decision. Follow up with the prospect until you received a firm answer. There's no magic number of follow-ups, but it usually takes multiple contacts before a lead can be converted. Everybody has different schedules and priorities. The most successful reps know these schedules and priorities and can follow up with each lead accordingly. And knowing how to best reach your prospect is half the battle. Meeting prospects in person is the best way to establish trust. However, for some, texting may be an easier way to get their attention. Some prospects will appreciate a phone call, and others prefer an email due to their busy schedule. Each person has a preference, and figuring out this preference is a key part of the sales process. And if after all of your exhaustive efforts, folks are still not providing you with a response, let them go. There are plenty of other people to meet.